Hello.
Can anybody out here hear us?
Okay, I'm on.
No broadcast again.
What is going?
Hello?
Hello. It is May 2014, and I just like how that you guys can hear us in the chat room right now. So give us a heads up if you can. It's Prepper Chicks After Dark, and we're gonna get this ball rolling. So, hey chat room, can anybody hear us out there?
Crickets.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, I don't see anybody or hear anything.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Nothing. It's just us. I like how that you guys can hear us in the chat room right now.
Oh, there is a delay, I think.
You can. Prepper Chicks After. We get this ball rolling. Okay, so you can hear us now. So let's start all over. So welcome to Prepper Chicks After Dark. It is May the 6th, 2000. And I'm not on my headphones, so we're gonna try and I thought that was part of the problem. So yes, we can hear you. Awesome. Okay. So I'm a little muffled, a little far away, but we're gonna get rolling here. So what are we here for? We're going to play some Conflicted, the survival card game. It's a deck of 52 cards with different scenarios on each card. If you do not have a deck yet, you're way behind in the game. It's an awesome tool that you can use in your prepper bag to get your group talking about different scenarios and how you would react, which scares the hell out of me tonight because my husband is on the call. And worst, less than an hour, so we shall see. Welcome back to the show, Alika. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. My computer's up and running, and I'm doing awesome. I with shtfready.com. We're a prepping survivalist website that shares ideas, and we help each other learn and prepare and keep the politics out, and we focus on prepping and survival. Beginners to experts are welcomed. We all heard of the ant and the grasshopper story. Our website teaches you to be the ant.
And you have an awesome announcement about halfway through the show tonight, so everybody out there pay attention.
I do.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Me too.
The creator of the card game itself, JD, always a pleasure.
Hey, Laurie, thanks for having me back. It's great to be here.
Yes. You always have some great insight in some of these questions. And our special guest tonight is the one and only, the Mr. Chick. the Roo, cock, whatever you want to call him. Everybody in the chat room knows him as Eddie Carr. So, dearest love of my life, welcome.
Well, thank you, dear. First time here with you on this show. Thank you for having me, JD and Alika. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to finally hear your voice.
Thank you on, man.
Yeah, Alika, he's from Brooklyn. So you guys are like...
Distant cousins?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Forget about it.
I mean, are you boys?
Forget about it.
All right. So welcome. Want to say hi to everybody in the chat room. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. And we have some new people with us tonight. Got some great guests lined up in the future. So please stick around and check back every Tuesday It's 2 for Tuesday. So join us in the morning and then join us at after dark, after 11 o'clock for when we play Conflicted. So let's roll. So let's see here. Who wants to play the first card tonight? And I hear no.
Well, you guys pick a card. I have a little thing to say about the what's going on with Conflicted, if that's okay.
That's perfectly great.
Well, basically, we are going to launch an app for Apple and Android phones. You can put it on your iPad, your iPhone, or tablet, or whatever. And it's going to be really cool. It's a way to have all 52 cards on your phone on the go. The best part about this deck, this app that's coming out, is going to be a community side of it that we built in. So people can go in there, leave a little answer, vote up and down. And it's all done anonymously because we don't save any of that information on our servers. So, as far as who is submitting the question, so we can just have fun and not worry about what we say being recorded.
Awesome. That sounds like it's going to be quite interesting. You got a time frame when that's going to drop?
I think within the next 10 days or so. We're on the final stages. I've been playing around with the final design. It looks really cool. I'm sure you guys are going to love it. And you can get deck 1 and deck 2, and we may have another deck coming on. And I think after launch we should play a little bit. Of Conflicted, so it is like a brand new deck, and it's the perfect deck for you to go and and kind of break it out to play with your friends, because it's based on a book, kind of a famous book. It's been out for a while, so there's less of a quote-unquote tinfoil hat feel to it because it's a game based on a book. However, there's a lot of Conflicted in it, so I'm very excited to put that out there. I can't wait to see what you guys think.
Awesome. Sounds like they lost us again.
No kidding. After I went on with my rambling here for 10 minutes.
What is up with Skype tonight?
Always happens when you're on the show.
Now, we're back now. So 10 days, watch for the links for the app for Android phones, which is awesome because I'm a Droid fan myself.
Oh, me too. I have an iPad and stuff, but my phone is always Android. I want the NSA to have all the access they want, anytime.
Yeah. Well, we should say hi to them tonight, so just in case because we've neglected them lately. So if you guys are listening down at the White House, we're saying hi.
Hello.
All right, let's get on with a card. So, anybody have one, or you need to go ahead and play one? All right, here's what we got. You are, let's say you live in a community, a neighborhood with an HOA and all that kind of stuff. The community can choose a security leader from 2 strong candidates. Would you vote for a veteran police officer or a military veteran that has combat experience? Which candidate's job experience would you trust more to survive? And what reservations would you have with both candidates? So you're in a group, like an HOA or someplace like that, a community neighborhood, and shit hit the fan, and you have to make a choice on a leader within your group to oversee security. Would you choose a veteran police officer or a military veteran that has combat experience? JD, what do you think?
Well, I think it would depend more on their personalities more on their skill set. Like, let's say, personality-wise, they're both great. You know, and what I mean by great is that they're not gonna come invade my liberties. You know, they're gonna lead, but they're not gonna impose themselves on everybody. I think I'll go with the military guy, just because I think the world after the apocalypse is going to kind of look more like a war zone. Cops right now, they give speeding tickets, you know, and very few cops have the experience of going after bad guys full time. They're more to enforce the law to create some revenue to the local cities. So I'll go with the army guy.
Alika, what do you think?
For collapsed society, I'd definitely go with the military guy. Not because of my current occupation that I hold. It's just the military guy would have more defensive and offensive tricks in their hat versus a police officer. There's a reason why the military goes in as a fighting force and then turns into a police force after the fighting has settled and they're trying to keep order. But in the collapse, I think the police officer would still try to keep some kind of post-apocalyptic order, and it just wouldn't work in that environment anymore.
Let me ask you a question, Alika, because
Sure.
Well, it'll kind of be between you and Eddie. Eddie's old school; he's been in the military a long time ago and learned things differently than how you're learning things now. Do you think there's a difference that you would question the age of the veteran?
Oh, yeah. I want to say no, but there's a lot. I've been in for 12 years and counting, and the quality of the military, of the new recruit coming out of basic has differed a lot more than when I went through, and I'm sure my training has differed from when Eddie went through. I see it becoming worse. So I would base it off of that particular person's demeanor, and I would have to go off of age a little bit.
So if you had a new recruit for the military, or you had, let's say, a police officer that, let's say, worked in town Detroit, which one would you choose?
If I knew the kid just got out of basic training, I would have to say the cop, because especially if he came out of Detroit. But I think I would try and get the HOA community to have both of them team up as a sheriff and a deputy team, so to speak. So the new recruits' limited experience may help the seasoned cop.
Yeah,
but
I would have to lose either one of them.
Nope, I would do it.
Eddie, what's your answer?
If both people being the same age and the same, I would go with the military vet over the cop, because the cop would be trying more to enforce rule of law where there is none, and the military vet, a combat vet, would be more apt for survival. Now, if you're going to go to the scenario with the kid from boot camp, I would just throw him in the back of the ranks and make him shovel shit somewhere, because the kids out of boot camp don't know anything, especially if they just went through boot and AIT. They have no actual practical experience doing anything. It's all just theory, and it doesn't work. The only way that theory becomes reality is when you actually put it into practice.
Even if that particular person has been in the Army for 8-9 years and has no combat experience, that person would be more experienced than that new recruit, obviously. And I would take that guy even though he didn't have any combat experience if he was in the Army or military long enough.
Well, it depends. Would you go for somebody who was a veteran who was actually the rear echelon pogue that all he did was crunch numbers? I wouldn't do that. I would not take somebody who's in finance over somebody who was in a motor pool or in an actual combat vet, especially not when you don't have rule of law and you need somebody with combat experience.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying, I've seen so many rear echelon pogues that, would do absolutely nothing except get in your way. And they're bean counters, and they just, between that, I'd take the cop. If it was between him and the cop, I'd definitely take the cop. But even the cop would get in trouble, get in the way, because without rule of law, he's going to want to go back to his rule of law setting. And that's going to get your group killed.
But Burn Dog says that cops nowadays probably are vets, which is for the most part.
Most of the ones, the newer cops, the younger cops.
All right. So, some good answers, some things to think about. When you have a world without rule of law, what are you trying to instill? If it's been long enough, you might want the experience of the cop to follow order. And you don't need the veteran's expertise, though, too, A lot of different, what word am I looking for? Variables have to be taken into account. And JD brings up a good point, too. If the guy's a dick, who the hell wants him?
I agree. The friendly fire.
Exactly. All right. So, new question. Lika, you got something to play?
Yeah, dude. Your home is attacked and marauders are dragging a loved one towards their vehicle. Both perpetrators are armed with pistols and you are armed with a semi-auto rifle. Based on your training and experience, you have a 50% chance of neutralizing one of the attackers or 50% chance of hitting your loved one. Would you take a shot or not?
Oh, that's a rough one. Oh, it's just a family member. It doesn't say if it's a male or female or aunt or uncle or anything?
No, it just says loved one.
JD, how much do you love your loved ones?
I love them enough not to let them be taken in the apocalypse by... when we were writing that scenario, I imagine somebody just being dragged away. And some people may say, well, that'll never happen. But even in Ukraine, this is happening right now. People just shoving each other into cars and driving away with them. And then all of a sudden they're dead.
We're just getting ready to send troops in to rescue 300 girls that have been kidnapped. What is that, Nigeria or someplace? That have just come up missing. We're sending American troops in to try and find them. So we don't do this. It's happening now.
That's crazy. And I think if I had a 50-50 chance, I would take the shot. Because, my first intent would be to kill the bastards, but what's worse, to die or to be dragged away by who knows who these people are, what they're going to do to your loved one if they're alive. And I'm a person who believes in a life after this one. So I wouldn't be frozen, that would not be one of my thoughts, say, you may kill them. The point would be to end the suffering, hopefully killing the bad guys. But if it was that critical of a situation, either I'll take the shot or maybe never see that person again. I'll take the shot.
Alika?
So if you're a loved one of mine and you're listening and you get kidnapped, make sure you duck.
Duck.
Duck in the car while you're driving away, because I'll be shooting.
Alika, you're up. Do you think there's a difference when it describes the fact that they have handguns and you have what was it, a rifle, an AR?
A semi-auto rifle. I think it does.
What kind of advantage would you have there?
Well, you can lay down more suppressive fire, and I would do more of a shock and awe, not try to hit the attacker. I'd be trying to shoot the car or the vehicle out, tires, whatever, to more scare the crap out of them, so they actually, drop my loved one and get in the car and go, or just run away altogether. Now, if that plan didn't work, I would then try and take the shot to neutralize the marauders.
Curveball, Alika. Would you shoot your loved one in the leg or someplace that's not going to be lethal in order to get them to not take them, if that was your option?
I'm gonna go all John McClane, huh? I would say right now, no, because I don't have the proper knowledge on, as far as my medical knowledge to figure out, let me shoot them over here and they'll be all right. I mean, you can still shoot somebody in the arm and hit an artery or permanently make that person lose all function in their arm or whatever. I don't think I would until I was really boned up on my medical knowledge.
I know what we're going to be learning this week on Prepper Chicks. Where do you shoot your loved one if you have to? And how do you stick a tampon in the hall?
Ow.
So you would go after them?
Yeah, definitely.
Have any? Well, we'll get to Eddie in a minute. But have either of you put a plan together on some kind of wink or something? If say your loved one say your wife is being held by these guys and you do something, then they know that they are to get the hell down?
Actually, yeah, me and my wife have talked about it quite a bit, and we even talked about where potential robber or mugger has me with my hands up and her with their hands up too. But yeah, we've talked about scenarios like that, and if she is getting dragged away, or it's a whole like hostage movie standoff, she knows when to just play dead and just go limp. The sudden movement of body weight would throw that person off, and I think would clear me to take a shot.
Gotcha. Well, you guys in the chat room need to calm down. I did not bring up prison sex yet, and there's no sense bringing up banana. I just said tampon. That was it. It's okay. Eddie, what do you think? Remember who
I would take the shot.
Well, I've seen you shoot, so I would trust you to take the shot.
Well, yeah, but even with the moving vehicle, blah, blah, and the dragging, the 50-50, I would still take the shot because I would fear more about the horrors that you or somebody that I love or care about would go through being taken hostage, prisoner, or into basically a slave.
I thought you were going to say the horrors after I beat your ass for not saving me.
Yeah, that too. The bruises that come from that. No, I would honestly take the shot. It would be, and if I missed and killed the loved one, I would feel absolutely horrified and take forever to justify it by thinking that at least they didn't get, prison raped by somebody else.
Oh, see, you brought it up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you said it earlier, so I had to throw it back in. No, it depends on how far the shot is and how many people. You said there's 2 people. And if the shot's less than 60 yards, those guys have no chance. Now, if I'm 160 yards away, yeah, I'm going to be a 50-50 chance. But if it's only from, the door to the vehicle to the driveway, they're toast. But anyway,
Would you trust me to take the shot?
if they were 40 yards away, yes.
Snack?
Well, you're a great shot up to about 40 yards.
Oh, I can feel it coming on, that Laxmickey disease.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Besides, I have to go up against Jimmy. There's, I gotta practice some more, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're getting better. Now, with a handgun, I would rather you shoot him with a handgun than a rifle, because you can hit him up to 60 yards with a damn handgun. I don't know why she's better with a handgun than she is with a rifle all day long. But
I
Interesting.
my handgun more often than my rifle, so.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so I think everybody agrees that they would probably take the shot, and deal with the consequences afterwards, whatever they might be. Maybe we should practice, Eddie. Really should practice.
Yeah, I'll get a crash test dummy to put out there for you to shoot at.
And you can stand right beside it.
No.
I would take my wife's Glamour magazines and tape them up to the target range. I'd get some weird looks at the gun range, but it definitely gave a new perspective on trying to shoot around the model and hit the target.
Alika, if you ask Jimmy in the chat room, he might let you use his blow-up dolly.
Damn, Jimmy.
All right, next question before we get into trouble. Actually, let's pause here for a minute because we're about halfway through. Because I've heard rumors that a certain someone has a raffle going on involving a shotgun. Is that right, Alika?
Yes, I do, and it's very, very true. We are raffling off Webley and Scott 612 tactical shotgun. This thing looks pretty fierce. I'll post a link so you guys can see the pictures, but pretty simple. It's a quick PayPal entry fee. There's $10. You get 10 entries. It's not like some other gun raffles where you're paying $10 a ticket. It's 10 chances. And for $20, each $20 you spend in a single transaction, you'll get another 5 additional entries. So this will be a good raffle to partake in. And if you guys don't do the PayPal route, we will be accepting money orders as well, and the addresses will be on that link. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat room.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, a couple times now.
Alika, be careful with PayPal. If they find out it's anything gun related, they might freeze your account. I've seen it happen before.
All right. I'll let the other admin know. He was the one that set it up. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, no, if it's anything gun related, even parts, PayPal will freeze your account. I've seen them do it to a couple other guys that I know. They were doing transactions for Gun Broker.
Well, we'll figure it out. But it is one sweet looking shotgun.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, and it's got your little logo thingy on there, the amped.
Yes, thank you. I forgot about that part. We do have our logo and our website engraved on it. It's just nice and subtle. It's not obnoxious looking. So I think you guys will like it.
Now the backpack and all that doesn't come with it. It's just a shotgun, right?
No. It's just to make it look all nice and pretty. Okay. It's just a shotgun only.
Just wanted to make sure. So if they go to www.shtfready.com, you'll have a link right there that they can go to get to the raffle.
Actually, I got a bit.ly link that'll give you a lot less to type out here.
Okay.
It's coming up right now.
Okay. Pay attention to Alika's link, not mine.
Let's see. www. Bang. There we go.
There you go. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. So let's move on to the next question. JD, do you have something?
I do. I'm not sure we've done this one. I think we've done all of them, haven't we?
Not all of them.
Okay, how about this one? You were forced out of your survival retreat by an incoming hostile army. Now on the run, food and water are very low. You and your survivalist friends can barely stave off hunger by foraging. One of your friends comes to you in need of advice. His spouse decided that she'll sell her body for supplies at the trade post in order to feed the children. Your friend is between a rock and a hard place and needs your input. What would your advice be?
Okay.
So
you're near death, starving.
Yes, the kids are dying, and she had this great idea. And your buddy is like, I don't know. Alika, let's start with you.
Actually, can you read the question? You cut out a little bit on my end.
You're
so basically,
yeah, Alika comes to you because his wife wants to sell her body to get food for the family, but he's having problems with having his wife just, screw around with anybody that's out there. So he's come to you for some advice. What would you tell him?
Is she hot? No.
Wow.
No. I would advise not to do it, but I mean, ultimately it's her choice, and I would assume that it would be between her and her husband. And I mean, I think by allowing that, it would bring in trouble. You got somebody saying that, oh, I got 2 weeks of food if you let me get a little freaky with you, and then she performs the services, and the John pops her in the nose and then runs off, and now you're back to square one and with a little less dignity. I just don't think it would be worth it.
Somebody in the chat room, one of the Adons, said just sell the kids, you can make more later. Then you don't have to worry about it.
That is actually a pretty damn good idea.
Eddie, what would you say?
The Chinese sell their kids all the time. I would be really torn with this. Now, if it was my friend telling me that, then yeah, go for it. Deal with it. Now, if it's my wife, I'd have problems. I would actually figure something else out. I would probably become a marauder somehow or some way, but I would not let my wife do that. I would probably figure out an alternative method, which would probably get me killed or worse. So yeah, but I wouldn't let that happen. It's just personal belief. When you start letting your personal beliefs go down the toilet, then, what are you surviving for?
Yeah, your humanity is gone. JD, what do you think?
I think I'm with Eddie on this one. If it's somebody else, there's a lot of people out there who have open marriages. Just open it a little bit more, and get some food for it, I guess, if you're one of those people.
But give me your car keys first.
Hey, talking about an apocalyptic key party.
But I wouldn't, if you were me, I would do whatever it took for this not to happen. I mean, just whatever. I would not go down there, that road at all.
We're not talking about the women anymore. Would you do it?
They wouldn't be able.
Could do it.
They wouldn't be able to afford my services, Lori. I'm very expensive.
Nice dodge.
The Brazilian film.
It's
Brazilian, it's exotic.
He would samba his way out of it.
Coconut. Anyways, no, seriously, JD, if you could do it without your wife or anybody finding out, would you do it?
Probably not.
Still couldn't? What about you, Alika? Nobody's gonna know, except for you. Well, and the other person.
If it came down to it and my kid was starving, I'd probably be the catcher or the pitcher. But that
if only Chris was here to hear that.
It would have to be after I tried eating mushrooms and ended up foraging for mushrooms and ended up barfing my stomach up or something. It would have to be the very, 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 very last resort. Awkward silence.
Yes.
So you would be the pitcher or the catcher, whatever it took.
Yes.
Eddie?
Hunger makes people do some of the craziest things.
It does.
However, I don't think, like those people in Chile that wound up eating other people who were dead. I couldn't do it. And same thing with this. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to make that kind of a choice. I would honestly become a marauder and hurt somebody else before I, give up the exit only. Not happening.
See, I would eat somebody before I went down the sex route.
Yeah, no, see, I wouldn't do either one. I couldn't eat anybody. I would probably be that one woman that starved to death, but, there's no way. I could not bring myself to eat human flesh, and I couldn't bring myself into homosexuality. I can goof around about it, but the minute it gets real, I get really disgusted and I can't, no. Not even thinking about it.
You could only be the catcher in that situation. You wouldn't be able to pitch. You'd be physically impossible.
Not going, no, the only way I would do it's like, hey, you know what? We're going to do this. I'd have a knife hidden in my hand, and the minute he pulls his pants on, I'd slit his throat, and that was it. I am not. That's not going to happen. Yeah, and then I would take his food, whatever there was there, whatever I can get, and get the hell out of Dodge.
I have to agree with Bern in the chat room. You'd be surprised what you would do if you're starving or seeing your children starving. That's a tough one. I have the innate ability, and Eddie will back me up on this. I can turn my emotions off like nobody else, which is kind of scary to a degree.
Yeah.
I think the key is to not let your thoughts go down that path, Just keep yourself busy trying to do some other way, I think at the end of the day, when the fight for resources break out, food, shelter, this and that, these are all things people produce. Somebody, you go to the grocery store, the food's there because somebody produced it, manufactured it. So instead of going and stealing what's out there or selling your body or all that stuff, go back to the producing side. Focus on that. Say, hey, we gotta establish trade with other people. We gotta have something to trade with other people. We just gotta produce and just focus on that and not so much on the other stuff. That's what I think is the key for...
Well, here, this next question is for you then, Sadie. You can start with it. So everybody here on the show and probably in the chat room, will have prior knowledge when things turn south. I think a lot of us most of us are probably already watching for things, for signs of big shit coming down. So you either have supplies already or you know how to secure them faster than anybody else, than probably most of your neighbors. If you had the knowledge that could save your neighbor's life, but at the same time make them compete with you for resources, would you share it with them or would you keep it to yourself?
Interesting scenario. That's true. If you were me, I would keep my mouth shut because at that point, it's time it's hitting the fan, All preparation time. The world already started to change right there. As soon as it's time to do that and you have to go And there's no time to say, hey, go to Walmart, get a box of 22, because there's not going to be any other ones. So you got to go and get that box for yourself. So if supplies get that low that telling other people about it are going to make them compete with you, it's already, in my opinion, it's already too late in the process to start waking people up and warning them.
It's kind
You
of,
just got to put your head down
it's kind
and
of
do
like
what you have to do.
You know, we saw all the blizzards coming this past winter. And, you know, those of us that were ready, We've sat home. But did we warn people around us, hey, there's a blizzard coming, you need to go get a few things? Take that times the max.
Yeah.
And if you know it's the last box of 22, or you know it's the last, you know, I don't know. Twinkie. You know, first.
That'd be a huge fight. Yeah, that's what I would do. You know, I would not share with anybody, because at that point, it's already the process had already begun. You know, we don't live in the world. If it's a temporary blizzard, that's one thing, you know. But like right now, for example, I don't know if you guys keeping tabs on the financial news, but the U.S. economy basically is staggering. There are more businesses closing right now in America and dying than being opened, you know. And that's been happening for the first time ever in American history. And also all the financial indicators are terrible. So the quantitative easing that was supposed to stop, I believe it's going to be turned up, and that's going to set off a chain of reaction that can very well put us in a very different world than 6 months from now than we are today. So my point is, do what you can right now, but as soon as you see things changing, be very wise with the things that you say and with the friends that you make, because things can change in the future.
Yep. Alika?
I would definitely keep my mouth shut. It's plain and simple. I mean, I'll have a little spare food for, you know, family members that may come by if they make it to my house. But other than that, I would just keep my mouth shut and tell them to keep going. I don't have anything.
Alika, I'm going to give you a curveball. What about the fact that, let's say shit does hit the fan and, you know, you do tell your neighbor, hey, you need to get to town to get something. What if people notice that you're not going to town to get stuff? Do you think that's going to be a problem? If you're not down there begging for food like everyone else, you think people are going to say, I wonder why he's not down there?
I don't think people would be that
alert
and aware. You know, just for, I guess, security purposes for my own homestead, I might just go down there once a week and walk around and, you know, shoot the breeze with whoever may be down there to say, oh yeah, I saw him down there the other day. Yeah, and then leave without any food.
Kind of to cover your tracks.
Right. But, or my first thought, or what I was going to say, was just tell people that I hunt, but then, you know, that might just attract too many people. But I would just go cover my tracks and then leave and come back.
I think a lot of us have talked about the gray man in the past. You have to blend in and look like everyone else. If not, you're going to make yourself a target.
Exactly.
Eddie, what do you think?
I would tell one person and one person only that I know and trust, and that I know he's got the same mindset, and he and I would go and watch each other's backs while we go look for stuff.
But I'm talking about our neighbors, because I really don't care for either one of them.
Oh, no, the neighbors on left and right? No. The other neighbor that's about 2 miles north? Yes. I would basically jog up to his place, say, let's go. we need to go get some extras or whatever we can get our hands on now. But the ones left and right now, I wouldn't bother with them. I wouldn't tell them anything because I've already tried talking to them.
Well, crazy writer lady who's going to be on our show in a couple weeks brought up a good point. She says that you have to think about take your circumstances into account. An elderly neighbor who can help, would you help them as opposed to an able-bodied neighbor who sits on their ass all day eating Cheetos and doing drugs? So would you help an elderly neighbor?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, definitely.
To a point.
What do you mean to a point? When would you stop?
Well, I would go and get her, help her get groceries or whatever, run out there and maybe get some stuff for her, like the lady that's 2 houses down, the blind lady. I would probably try and help her as much as I could, but she does have her own family that's going to come over, and that might start, okay, we tried to help your mom while you were gone, and now you're here. I'm going to focus on my own family. You focus on your mom. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a degree.
To a degree. Not you can't do it forever, but you can do it as long as, for a little bit until...
And you don't put yourself or your family in jeopardy.
Exactly.
But, Alika brought up a good point. You need to be able to blend in with everyone else. If not, they're going to be like, why aren't these people down here? And why aren't they down here begging for food? Or why haven't they lost weight? Or why are their clothes clean? All kinds of stuff that you need to think about.
My underwear would be clean. The rest of it would look like everybody else. I gotta have clean boxers, baby.
That's new.
No, I could wear the same pants and shirt for months, but the boxers gotta be clean.
For months?
Okay, weeks.
Okay, well, that's a good question. How long do you think you could go without washing your clothes, JD?
Well, probably no more than 3 weeks, right? Or 4, depending on the situation.
Yeah, I was going to say a downgrade situation. You're going to be way more manual labor than a lot of people are doing now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you never washed your butt, or never had the chance to not wash your butt for more than a day.
Well, you military guys should know how that goes.
Take a bird bath out of the K-pot.
Yeah. I learned that real early in my career, especially in the middle of summer. If you're running around and the heat and everything. At least for me, it was a max of 5 days, and after that, no matter how much clean clothes you put on, the stench off of your body just kills whatever clean thing you put on, and your clothes just don't feel the same way after that long.
So, what's the longest 5 days you've gone without
showering? Yeah, and washing clothes.
Eddie, how long have you gone when you were in the military?
Honestly, without a shower, we were at Reforger in Germany, and I think it lasted 33 days before we got our first shower out in the field.
Of God.
It was the first real shower. It was ice cold, and it sucked, but it was the greatest shower I ever had. We were all taking bird baths out of the helmets.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting the EBGBs just thinking about that. JD, what's the longest you've gone?
Maybe 4 days. We went camping, and nobody thought about a shower,
Yeah.
Years ago. So it sucked. I can definitely relate, Alika. Like on the third day, everybody just stinks, and you're kind of getting in the way of the smoke of the fire to kind of try to kill some of your germs and. Because it's tough, man.
This is the part that worries me the most, quite honestly, and Eddie's going to laugh here. But I'm one of, how those people is, you don't talk to them before they have a cup of coffee in the morning?
Do not go in within 10 feet of this woman without her shower. She will F you up.
I've had a shower every day of my life, probably. unless I was sick for some reason. But I've had to like seriously rework myself to be able to deal with it because I am a different person. My personality changes. I am a bigger bitch than I am usually. But you give me a shower and I'll take over the world, you know, a huge difference, mood swings wise for me. So I can imagine how people are going to be out there, you know, they haven't had real food or they're not clean, and that's going to play on morale big time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, 33 days without a shower. I mean, how did that personalities? What did you see?
No, we were all taking baths out of our helmets. You literally flipped your helmet over and you poured a bottle of water in there, and you got a washcloth and proceeded to scrub. You wash the pits, armpit, nut pit, butt pit, whatever you want to call it. You know, you just wash the nasty parts and then deal with the sweaty BO afterwards. You know, if you smelled good or had deodorant on, you were rear echelon and you weren't part of the team, because we know you were taking a shower every night. People would get, not that we would get upset, but people would get angry because we couldn't take a shower. But this stupid colonel who was a bean counter from the headquarters company would come in smelling like a rose every day. Yeah, he was the first one I wanted to shoot.
I don't know.
When you get a bunch of men, they're more tolerant of the BO in the armpit, unless you get a guy that smells like open ass, but the rest of it's okay.
Some guys can make your eyes tear up, you know.
Dude, have you ever rode next to a Nigerian on a subway in the summertime? That will make your nose burn.
Look, I'm Brazilian, man. I mean, I've seen it all down there, you know.
Oh,
it's insane.
But you bring up a good point. You know, if you're smelling good compared to everyone else, you might have an issue. But on the flip side, if you're trying to hide from people and you smell really bad, they're going to find you a lot easier.
No, what you do is they make natural soaps that don't have a real smell to them. And I remember a long time ago, I got this. It was an all-natural deodorant that was basically a rock that you wet and rubbed it on your armpits. And it was not an antiperspirant, but it was a deodorant. So it helped a little bit, but not very much. Once you got the sweat, and you were done. Yeah,
this, I have to agree with Hawks. I need a shower now just thinking about this. But, yeah, I mean, ew. You know, quite honestly, I deal with most anything else but that. But, you know, that's probably why we have multiple avenues of heating water and showering in our house, too. But, yeah. Interesting. I don't know. Man, I just don't know. 33 days without a shower. I'm going to have to test this theory out one of these days when I'm on vacation and see how long I can make it.
I bet you won't make it 14 hours.
I've thought about, quite honestly, you know, a lot of us girlies in the coop have talked about, would we shave our heads? You know, I have long hair. I mean, it's getting down more than halfway down my back now because I've discovered that the longer my hair gets, I'm a very oily person to begin with. And, but before I just could not get past the feeling of my hair when it hasn't been washed first thing in the morning. And my kids even make fun of it because they'll come up, my 13-year-old will run across the house and come up and touch my hair really fast and then run away yelling, I touched your hair, I touched your hair.
That is not a lie. That is God's honest truth, man.
Stuff like that. But, I mean, I'm seriously contemplating shaving my head if something happens and I can't take a shower because I know how it makes me feel and that worries me.
Dude, I have seen her chase him through the house and rough him up when she caught up to him.
Yeah, Jules, I've tried to wear it up and I still can't. You know, you go back and you study the Old West and the women that, you know, rode and rode over the Rockies and stuff like that. You know, they had to do that. Have tried the flower shampoo. Somebody sent me some one time. The dry shampoos, can't do that either. I think my only option is just to shave my head.
That would also serve another purpose of making you disappear, so to speak. If you have marauders going around and looking for the females with the long hair.
Oh, there's no mistaking me for a female, even if I shaved my head.
Dude, her boobs turn a corner before she does.
Thanks, Daddy.
Okay, for other less well-endowed females, might help them.
That's down or something. I'm not sure how that would work.
Oh, that's messed up.
I would definitely shave my head for sure and grow a beard. I look scary as possible.
I can't grow a beard. I tried.
I thought I was your beard.
Haha, funny man.
Yeah, someone get it.
So, are we married after this? I think you did a really good job, Eddie.
Well, thank you, dear.
For the most part.
Good job. We gotta have him back more often, Eddie.
Oh, you gotta talk to the boss about that.
Don't feed his ego. Come on, I gotta live with the man.
I get into too much trouble. I say things that are not politically correct sometimes.
Yeah, because we don't do that on this radio show.
I know.
Well, think about it this way. If she thinks it's bad, you know it's gotta be really bad.
So who do we have coming up, just so everybody knows? Next week, from the chat room, Doc will be with us, and we're going to talk some geology